Hi everyone, I hope you're all well today. Now I apologise for the inactivity. I have just had a week on holiday up to York. It was very lovely, so I'm back now and we are coming back with something new. I got a request on Instagram from a lovely lady for a letter to be pour painted on for her daughter. This is something I have never ever done before and I'm excited to give it a go. I've looked up quite a few YouTube videos myself on how to do this. So what we've got here, first of all, I have gessoed this one with this gesso right here, your Boldmere, which is the one that we always use on this channel. Now we've done about 5 coats and we have also, it gets a little bit bumpy when you try to gesso onto this material here. So what we do is we just give it a little buff over with your sandpaper. I will go through all of that because we're going to gesso this one here, so we're going to do the whole process for you. If you like them and you want one for yourself, then don't hesitate to message me. Best way probably is through my Instagram. You can pick any colour combination. We're going to be doing lilacs, so I'm going to mix a bit of like a couple slightly darker purples, cream, white, all that. We're going to mix on this one today. But first, before we begin all that, I am going to show you how to gesso one of these because it's not the same as gessoing a canvas. So let's go ahead and start that. Now it can be quite a long process, this one, because you do have to do minimum, I would say, 5 layers on these. I've done, as you can see on this one, front and back and all these little inside bits completely covered with 5 layers on. For the pour painting, obviously I'm not going to be able to pour and it go nicely on the back as well, so what we're going to do is pour on the front and let it drip down these sides and tape the back, so then this will stay lovely and white. And what we'll do at the very end is just give this a 1 coat of just acrylic paint to make it look nice and finished and clean up all those edges. But like I say, we'll get to all that at the end. So let me first show you how to gesso one of these. What we're going to start with, you just have, I've got quite a nice flat brush there. I've got my gesso, like I say, it's the Boldmere ones, you can get it from the works, only £5 for 500 mils. Now, I think thinner layers and build it up is the best way to go. If you go in with too thick of a layer, it's going to clump up and it just doesn't work as well. It can flake off as well. So thin layers. Let's start with this one. What I have found with this, it's slightly glazed on either side, very slightly, a little bit smoother. Now the insides aren't, so it's so absorbent in these bits, so you're going to need a lot more gesso on the inside than you do for these top bits. It is going to look streaky, don't worry about that at all. It all gets covered once we've done quite a few layers. It's tansy in there. So it just absorbs the paint so quickly. The thing with gesso is it's very quick drying. So you want to get these layers on quickly because if you go back over again, you may start to get that where it clumps up a little bit together. If you think that there's a bit you've missed, like I've missed a tiny bit here, it's a little bit thinner than the rest, just leave it for the next coat because that's going to clump up otherwise. Let's do the edges. So if it clumps here as well, whilst it's still freshly wet, just wipe your finger along it and it'll just smooth it out. Okay, so first layer done. And what we do is we go over with our hairdryer. I like to put it either on the medium heat or the cold. Don't put it on too high of a heat because again that can make the paint go a little bit goopy because it's still heating it up, so it's basically melting it a little bit, so it can go a little bit bunched up. So just use medium or cold heat. Now you'll want to make sure each layer is fully dried, because if it's not, as you're layering more wet paint on top, more wet paint, again, you'll get that where it flakes off and it bunches up. If you were to do your, like if you were to paint your nails as well, if you were to do a wet coat, leave it to dry a little bit, then another wet coat, leave it to dry, it's not going to dry properly and you can get it where it like flakes off. So we don't want that. So just make sure it is fully dried. Then for the back, we do the same process. Just try not to get as much around these edges if possible, but don't worry if you do. You can always sort it after. If you feel like you have gone around that and it's dripped down too much, just quickly take your finger around and wipe it off. Just like that. I'm not sure how white it is looking on the camera screen, but if you compare it to the one that's done, you can see it's quite a bit still to go. Now, if you do get little bits like this that are just sticking out a little bit, I've got some very fine sandpaper and you just go over them. There you go. Just makes it nice and flat in that area. Now, layer 2, we do it all over again. Now, whilst I'm doing this process, I just want to tell you about a few other things that, if you're interested in these, that I can do. If you wanted your whole name spelled out, if you want just your initials, if you want your family name, in any particular colours, just message me straight away. I can get all the materials in mainly from Hobbycraft, but which only takes a couple days to come in. So if you needed it urgently as well, I can get it on next day delivery through Hobbycraft, so it would only take me a couple days to make. If you want your pet's name, I can always do that. Even somewhere you've been on holiday, you can do a name of your house. Say your favourite place to be, anything like that. So just drop me a message, whatever colours you want I can do. And at time of recording this in 2021, it is 100 days away today till Christmas. So if you are looking to start Christmas shopping and you want to get something nice and personalised, then again, drop me that message straight away. All orders can definitely be ready by Christmas now, and I reckon all the way up until probably mid-December I'll be able to get them to you. So again, let me know. Now, if you should get a little bit that does do that bunching up thing, like I was saying, like I've got in here because I accidentally left this bit on a little bit too thick. All you do, get your little bit of sandpaper, just file it down. And also don't worry too much, because pour painting is so thick that when you put paint over these little bumps and all that, you won't even see it. So don't worry about being too exact with the gesso. But still, you don't want it crazy lumpy or thick. Nice and smooth in there now. Perfect. Okay, so you've seen me do both sides now. Just do that another 3 times. You probably don't want to see me do all that again and again and again. You know what to do now. So let's fast forward to the fun bit and the actual painting. Let's go. Okay, one thing I want to do before we get to the painting is I want to just tape the back with some frog tape. Or you can just use masking tape, whatever you've got. And just cover the back so we don't get all those horrible splodges, and we can just peel it off after and paint it with a nice white paint once it's all dried. So I'm going to get rid of that little bit there. There we go. So start by doing that. So what I'm going to do is just first of all stick it down, and then we'll cut it with the Stanley blade in a second. Please be so careful if you're working with blades. I know I should have this in a Stanley knife, but I couldn't find it. So we're going with just the bare blade. Seems to be working actually really well because you can get into those little areas and hold it quite nicely, but obviously a Stanley knife would be better. So just be careful. As you can see, all nicely taped. That's quite nice and yellow. I like it. Right, see in there, a little bit hanging down. Just double check all your edges, make sure there's no tape hanging down that will make the paint not cover. There we go. So now let's get on with mixing our paints. Okay, I'm making the decision not to add silicone oil because I don't know how that's going to react on that kind of surface, and I think I want more like bands of colour rather than when you get the really, really big cells. So I'm going to try it without first of all. I'm going to start off with mixing some white paint with our violet just to get our first nice kind of like lilac-y colour. I'm going to do say 20 grams of paint altogether. That's the white and the purple mixed. Let's get out the white. This is a pearly white, this one. Alright, let's try from there. Right, let's see what this colour comes out like, see if we're happy. Yeah, like it. Right, that's pretty colour. So I am going to use both PVA glue and pouring medium. PVA glue is going to give us that little bit more thickness, so hopefully it stays on the letter all right. So I'm going to add this up to, let's put it into about 23. So my paint added up to 15 because I took it down a little bit because I won't need a lot of paint. It's a very small letter, so I'm putting that to 23 and then silicone oil up to 30. So I've tried to split it half and half there as best I can. And a little tiny drop of water. You may need to keep adding water to get your desired consistency, but I do think for this we need it just that little bit thicker, which is very odd because we have not been doing that lately with our Dutch pours. We've been doing a very thin mixture, so this is going to feel odd trying to make something thick. Yeah, thinner than that though. I still want it to come out the pot. Should be getting there now. Again, you don't want to go too thick where it's going to crack and not dry properly, so it's trying to get that balance. But that's why we do these test runs, just so we can work it out, the correct consistency. I see a couple more drops and we should be there. Yep, I think we're good. So if you see that consistency, a little bit on the thicker side, but not crazy, where it's gonna hopefully not crack and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the rest of the paints with those measurements and I'll see you after. Okay, so we have our colours. We're going for the lilac. So we've got that one that you saw me mix. Slightly pinkier purple there. Then we've got our deepest purple and the white just to break it up as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it all into one cup and we're going to do a dirty pour. So if I put that a bit there for a second. So we're just going to pour these in. I'm going to start with the dark colour first. Okay, so we've got our two pots all mixed there now. So what we're going to do, put our bead back there, like so. And I'm going to pour this bit first from one cup and this bit from a second cup. All right, let's give this a go. I'm just going to pinch the edge of the cup as well, just to give us a bit more of a spout. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so you can see some of the edges are still bare, so let's go back over those. Oops. Okay, there we go. I love it. I think it looks so pretty. I love those colours together. Ooh, we just got a little bit on this side. Okay, so it's been a few days since that last bit recording. It's completely dried now. Under really bright light, you can see it is nice and shimmery, but it's dried beautifully. The paint didn't move. All the colours are still as vibrant, and it's just hasn't run off. It is brilliant. So consistencies were correct, but the only thing we have to do now is sort the back out. So you can see where it's dried, it has gone a little bit flaky on the back, so we just need to cut those around the edges just so that looks nice and neat. And then we're going to paint the back. I think a nice lilac colour would work really well, just to blend it all in. So we're going to give that a go now. So I'm just going to start with our little blade again. I'm just going to go around these edges and just take the little pieces off. See, there's some here. Just keep that blade at the same angle as the edge, so you're going around, you can see, like that, just so it's taking off whatever's excess. You don't want to be like this digging into the actual material itself. Just want to keep that just so it's gliding along the edge. See that? Just take all that off. Don't think we've got much along this bottom bit, but I'll still show you. if it's giving you resistance, don't go along with that resistance because you will go into it. Just glide along with it and it will pick up anywhere that there is some excess. Glide, just picking up those little bits. Make sure your blade is nice and sharp. Again, please be careful around these blades. You don't want any accidents. But you need to make sure your blade is sharp so that it is just gliding through. Careful of like slipping as well. You don't want to go into your skin at all, so that's why you don't want to put too much pressure on. You just want to gently glide around. There. See how nice and smooth those edges are now, so we haven't got any excess anywhere. It's going to look nice when it's standing up from every angle then, so you're not going to see any little rough bits. Just a little bit more here. And again, just go around and double check you haven't missed anywhere. There we go. Lovely. So just check as well. Stand it up in front of you and look through like these little bits, because I just looked through and I can see there's a tiny bit up here that you can see if you're looking at it from the front. And a bit there. You can see now, no excess bits, we're all good. Okay, so now let's get on with the painting. Now this is gesso, so that's your base. You don't need to prime it with anything. Just need to mix up your paint. So I'm going to go for a nice pale lilac. So I'm going to use the violet here, transparent one. Just want like a dab of that. You can see literally that much. And then white. Again, you need a tiny bit of that dark colour because that is going to mix really quickly into that white. And again, don't worry if you haven't added enough white or if you've added too much purple, just add a little bit more. I think that's quite a pretty colour actually. I think we might go with that. Make sure you've got plenty to start with because it's so hard to get that same colour again. So you'll want to start off and make sure you've got enough colour to finish the whole entire thing. Better to do more and have excess left over than not to have enough. So I'm just going to make a tiny bit more. And take a little bit of that out because that's going to be too much. Someone asked me on TikTok the other day what I do with my excess paint. I don't waste it. It does all go either I save it back up, put them in little pots and cover them so I can use them again. Keep them in bottles, that will always save it. Or I do buy mini canvases, which sometimes I do off screen. I'll show you one actually, just so you guys know. So with whatever paint I've got left, I'll put it in one pot and I'll pour it onto a mini canvas like this. These are only about £5 I sell these for, and they're just quite cute to have on your bedside table or get a few of them and create a little collage on your wall. So no paint is left over. I always use them on, make little bits of artwork like that as well. Okay, I think this is good. I'm just going to do a tiny little test on the back. See that? Yeah, that's going to work. Right, let's go for it. There we go. Right. So pretty. Love it. It goes so well with all the other colours around, so I am very happy. So there is the final piece. Obviously I can't put it down that way now, so I'm just going to put it on the side before I get it too messy. But there you go. I will put some really nice photos once it has completely dried on my Instagram. Again, Paint Inspired in 2021. So if you pop over there, give that one a follow and have a little look, keep up to date with all these. If you want one of your own, I can do anything. If you're already thinking about Christmas and you want, let's say Noel, Xmas, Halloween, you want Boo or Spooky, or you want a family member's name, your surname, your initials, your pet's name, somewhere you've been on holiday, the actual country. I could do it in the country's flag colours. The beach, I could do it in like nice beachy colours. Anything you can think that you would like spelt and put on your mantelpiece or on your bedside table, anywhere in your house, place of work. I can do business names, anything. Let me know, give me a message. They are £10 per letter, and I think it depends how many letters you get. If you're getting more, postage will be a little bit higher, less will be smaller, but it will never go above £4, so it's not much for postage. So let me know, drop me a message. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed making it. There's loads more to come. I've already had quite a few orders in, so keep a look out for the next videos. The next one I'm going to be doing, lovely lady wanted craft all in pinks for her new craft room, so that will be our next video, so tune in for that one. Thank you so much guys, have a lovely day and I'll see you soon. Bye.